You know, last week on the Amazing Race Historian's blog, he mentioned how in the last video I said, I don't really mind where I end up. And he made a comment to that saying, yes, you do. You want to win. Well, you're right. I will take the crown. Just you watch. I'm heading for that crown, Logan. I am bloodthirsty for the crown of the best podcast/recap. Wow, what was that? Wow, whoa. Roll the intro. Yes, welcome back to the Amazing Armchair Race. My name is Jake. This is the show where we take a look at the most recent episode of The Amazing Race, and I say where I think I would end up if I were competing in this race, and I really armchair it, hence the name Amazing Armchair Race. This week's episode, they continued on their adventure in France. Beautiful location. Now, last week I said I'd come in third place, but I really think I'd come in second, but I armchaired it back to third. So technically I could say that I started in the first group that leaves. Or the second, it doesn't really matter. They were about only 15 minutes apart, but I think I'm starting around third place. First task they have to do, they have to get into a convertible and drive along the countryside. This was absolutely beautiful and just looked amazing. Now you did have to self-navigate, which props to Arun and Natalia for actually doing fairly well. But this is basically just asking some locals where you need to go, and it seems that every team made it there quite successfully. There was a trunk problem at one point, but we all go through that. So this task, you had to climb to the top of this hill where you met a guy that gave you maggot cheese. Apparently this dish is illegal to buy and sell. You can only eat it if someone gives it to you. So props to the loophole you found there, producers. I think personally, I'm not that picky of an eater. I'll eat pretty well anything. Especially if I know it's for money. Now, the one comment most racers said that it was really dry, and I think it would still be gross. I would just have to power through the pain. I'd probably make a really disgusting face. I'd be chewing. But everyone did the challenge and left in the same order, so I think whoever me and my partner is, that poor partner, we would eat the mega cheese and continue on the race with that taste in our mouth for the rest of the duration of the whole race. This episode was actually pretty inspirational with the contestants. Raquel and Kayla actually mentioned of how much they want to take that first place finally in this episode. And even though that they got second again, I actually scored an interview with Kayla talking about this positivity and experience. Kayla, tell me more.
Jake, I don't know how many times I have to tell you, my name's Adara, not Kayla. Just because I have glasses and brown hair doesn't mean that I'm on the Amazing Race. But good luck!
Oh, well, looks like I got the wrong video. Kayla, tell me more.
Jake, I'm not Kayla. I'm your friend Kat. Remember? Of 12 years? Just because I have glasses and brown hair doesn't mean I'm Kayla. Good luck armchairing the race, though.
Okay, so, thanks, Adara and Kat. Maybe I'll get the real Kayla next week, right? All my love, by the way, to Raquel and Kayla. They're my winner pick before the show started. You had some ups and downs, but I really hope that you take it home at the end of the race. Moving on! So this next task was a detour. In this detour, you had to pick between two options. One, you had to get into a kayak with your partner, and you had to pick a certain pattern of fish. You had to kayak out to all the buoys, and apparently it was really heavy. Ryan and Dusty were the only ones who did this challenge, but it really seemed like those strong boys did struggle a little bit pulling those up. So much so, they actually flipped their boat. I'm not laughing at you guys, I'm laughing because this is exactly what would happen if I went there. I mentioned last week, I haven't kayaked in a few years. I think I'd figure it out, but honestly, this task seems a little tough. And I would definitely flip the boat. Actually, in the kelp program that I keep mentioning, we actually did an exercise where you learn how to flip a boat and how to survive that. So I am trained in that. Yeah, that challenge is still a no from me. But initially, it does kind of seem like the easier challenge. However, the other one is you had to get into a boat, go underwater, and identify 10 different colored fish in a row and properly look at a pamphlet of fish and present the right order. And there was like 100 of these little pamphlet things with different orders of fish. That seems like a hard task to do. But I mentioned in the past I'm good at memorizing. I've been in a lot of plays and musicals growing up. So I think the memorization would be key, but it's still a lot. Now, a lot of the teams were grouped up and taking the same boat, and they decided to work together, which I think is a really fun task. I just couldn't believe at first Arun and Natalia and Lulu and Lala just decided to try to memorize each fish all together. Of course they were gonna fail that, which it was really funny watching the episode because I'm sitting beside my mom, and my mom was like, oh, come on, you can just get one person to do the first two, and the next person to do the next three. And she was saying the exact strategy which they ended up going, and I was just kind of smiling because I was thinking, armchairing the race runs in the family. But I think if I arrived there second or third, that would be the plan. I say stick together, work together. I'd be fairly confident I'd get in the boat and be like, okay, I'll get the first 2 fish, I'll memorize that. My partner will do the next 3 fish, and you can do the next 3 fish after that, and you can do the next 2 fish. And I think that would really help in narrowing it down. It's all about breaking it up. And I'm confident that if I chose that, it would be fairly successful. Leaving this task in about second or third, tied with that kind of contestant, even if we did the kayaking, I still think we would be kind of like Ryan and Dusty and finish in third. We run over to the roadblock. Now this roadblock is very interesting. It was this large fisherman's net, and you had to find the hole in it, and you actually had to patch the hole up. Kind of like sewing it back together. I think me and my partner would do the strategy of doing every other roadblock, and if one caters to the other, that we would make that person do it. I am not good at this. I know I'm not. I've never been good at tying knots. I've never been good at sewing or trying to find the little thing to patch through. It would be an absolute disaster, and it's a for sure elimination. I know you don't know the task before reading a roadblock, but I think by the name of it, I would have been like, nah. Now, I've actually been thinking the last few weeks about who my partner would be, and I mentioned a lot of great names, but I forgot to mention my friend Liam. Now, Liam is an ideal candidate for my partner because me and him have been best friends since the start of high school. And actually, the first time he ever came over to my place, I made him play this. Can you see that? The Amazing Race on the Wii. I still have it. And here's a photo of me and Liam playing that game. And we played the long version, so 12 legs. And not to brag, but me and Liam were so good, we got first place. We'd be excellent race partners. I know the Wii is a bit different, and this game was kind of shit, but I had a lot of fun playing this. One of my favorite Wii games, for sure. And Liam is a fisherman. Well, he likes to fish. Actually, you know what? I'm going to call him, and I'm going to describe this challenge, and I'm going to see how well we would have done. Dude. Whoa. Whoa. Hey, Liam.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
So, you remember when we were playing The Amazing Race when we were young?
Yeah.
And we won that shit?
Yeah, of course I remember that. That shit was good.
Now, do you think we could do it in real life?
Amazing Race?
Yes. The real one.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, great. Now, there's this challenge in this recent episode where you had to get a fishing net and you had to sit down and you had to patch a hole in the middle.
Yeah? Is it?
Yeah, do you think you'd be able to do that?
Fucking easy, dude.
Yeah, I told you guys, right? He's a fisherman. He knows what he's doing.
Are we supposed to catch any fish after that? I'd be down to, like, get some fucking trout or...
Well, if you're really...
Whatever, even if we're getting little sardines, I don't give a fuck.
If we're really fast, we'd have time because we'd beat all the other teams and we'll just fish right after.
Like, just fish for the fun of it. Like, so you're saying there's no fishing?
There's no fishing.
Why are you making a fishing net?
I don't ask me.
Alright, well, I mean, whatever. Like, if we gotta do that to fucking win the competition, no problem. But, be a little better if we had to fucking make the best catch or something. I don't know.
Oh, well, maybe next week.
Alright. Anyways, so what about that $20?
Bye, Liam! So yeah, especially if I was partners with Liam, I'd say we're leaving second or third place in this challenge here. I think he would sew it up really nicely, and we might even have a chance to catch a fish. So after you do that, you have to do this long hike up to the pit stop. It looked like a really long, treacherous hike, and it was really sunny. But you're in the final 5, right? And you just have this motivation to climb up the mountain. You do have to ask for directions for this one, but again, not a big deal. Especially Liam, he just goes up to people and just begins whole life stories, so we'd be fine. We'd get up there, we would plop down on the mat, and Phil would go, Jacob and Jacob, Jacob and Liam, Jacob and Adara and Kat, not Killa. You are team number 2, but I'm armchairing it, so you guys are team number 3. I think, again, I'd get third place right in the middle of the pack. It's not a bad thing. I even think if I am armchairing a little too much and I end up getting 5th, it's a non-elimination. Anyways, you can't eliminate me. Thanks again for watching. This was a really fun episode. I'm really enjoying this series a lot. There's lots of fun things to talk about, and I'm just having a grand old time. Again, if you're not already, check out Logan's blog. I'm in this competition for Best Recap Podcast, and I've slowly rising to the top, so I will see you up there. Special thanks to Kat and Adara. They were our special guests that kind of look like Kayla for this skit that I did. You can actually check out Adara on Twitch. She rolls a gumball every hour that she games, and Chad has to guess what color the gumball is going to be when it comes out, and it's just a great community. So if you're watching this, please check out Adara's Twitch. Kat doesn't have a Twitch, so don't check out that Twitch. And my buddy Liam, you'll see him around this channel. He's my bestie. And maybe I'll start gameplay videos on this channel, and me and Liam will do gameplay of the Amazing Race Wii. If you want that, please put that in the comments. And also put in the comments where you think you'd end up in this episode. None of you are doing that. Alright, my name is Jake, and this is the Amazing Armchair Race. Travel safe. See you next time.